Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Intrepid League Racing. I will be your commentator today, Wu Shiesty 420, as we get ready to go for our first qualifying session of the night here in Brazil. Everybody, earlier this week we've been racing 2, and this will be Tier 2 tonight. Several teams on the grid as we wait for the first drivers to come out. Right now, very warm qualifying to say the least. But we've had a wonderful week of racing so far. So very eventful. I had a very eventful Tier 4 race, to say the least. So as I hear someone coming out, or at least moving to get out, looks like a McLaren. Looks like both McLarens. Like everybody's coming out now. We see Zizin come out along with his teammate Shonk right behind him. As we'll see, Sub-Zero for some reason is on the intermediates. I don't know what this man is thinking, being on intermediates, or if he's smoking something. I don't know. But why is Sub on the intermediates? Wow, very interesting. But several people now back on the track for today, as we see the newest addition to my Williams team, Jude gets real. Very happy. He's our new Tier 2 reserve driver. I will be glazing him so much. I don't care what anybody says. As we'll follow Zizin on this out lap as we start into Sector 1, going down the third gear in this tight turn, in this tight little chicane. Turns 1 and 2, outside turn 3. Very good exit on the battery. DRS opens up. Flatlining out. The 17-2 as his Sector 1 time. As Mercedes behind him. Speed falling to caution, Sector 1, just someone coming out of the pit lane. Zizin has been performing very well all season long, too, as we go into the middle Sector 2 with him. His teammate Shonk right behind him. As he runs out of Sector 2 with a 51.6. The roundabout flat out on the battery. DRS opening up right about now, looking like trying to catch a small slipstream, as Zizin will set the time with a 107.3 for qualifying, as Chong 2 will take P2 right behind him with a 109.2, as we see Lee Hannah just on his out lap. Who else is on our lap? Jay here, rocking the Japan Haas livery, coming out of Sector 3. Gets himself into P2, splitting the McLarens with the 108.3. As William 2 and Jude, my boy, P3 with the 108.8. William coming with the time 2 with the 108.9. Chonk, Sanity, Jay's teammate with 110.3. Sub-Zero with, I don't know why he's wearing intermediates, with a solid 114.1. I don't know what is going on with him with all that kind of jazz. Rocking the intermediates, but good times going on right now. Who else is on outlap? Yawn looks to be also be on outlap. Ooh, little lockup in Sector 2. On his lap is the Mercedes about to finish. No, the McLarens. Panda rocking the new V-Carb livery too. Coming in to set his qualifying time. Puts it up into P2 with a 107.9. As we will see Buddha on an outlap. Forcel 2. That left Jan puts himself behind Jude in P6 with a 108.8. William going on another lap. As we see the Sauber of Sub-Zero going into the pits, as he probably should have. Sanity going on another fast lap 2. As we see Casper, the other Racing Bull, invalidates that lap. We see Kua, the Mercedes, coming out of Sector 3. Flat out. Will he be able to do anything? No, he won't. He just... Well, he did something. He got on P4. His teammate. Forrestal 2 puts it up into P3 with a 108.2. As we see the McLarens coming across the line. Chonk subtracting some time. One of the McLarens coming to the pits. Casper invalidating his lap again. As we wait for Buddha coming across the line, going P7 with a 108.6. On William validating this lap, heads into the pits. Sanity down on the Sector 3 time. Looking very good coming out of Sector 3. Will he be able to subtract some more time, put his car further? He'll advance a little bit up into P11 as he crosses the line. We'll see Casper invalidates his lap again. God, just bad luck all around across the board. As we'll see, Kua is heading into the pits. To Forrestal invalidating his lap. Panda setting another time 2. Adding a little bit. Can't tell if he's deciding to come to the pits or not, but he is definitely coming into the pits. We'll try and catch and see who else is on a fast lap. Buddha looks to be... No, he's on a cooldown lap. As he will start his second lap with the gas light on. So I don't know if he... Now it looks like he'll take another cooldown lap. So as you see, Jan down almost 2/10 in the Williams. My team... Jan, the last part of Sector 3 on the battery, looking for it, only be able to move up to P7. You see the Haas of Jay going on in fast lap. As... Oh my goodness, wait a minute. One of the Williams off track. Oh, Jan took a spin out of turn 1. Oh no, that is not good. That is no bueno. No bueno whatsoever. Oh boy. As he lets the McLaren through. Definitely will be trying to save up some battery again to go on another fast lap. SPCJ rocking the wonderful Haas livery. On a fast lap. Coming out of the tail end of Sector 2. He is down a 10th. He's sitting right now in P4 as there's an Aston Martin just going across the line. So going to outlap. Jay hugging that inside line for something. He will move up to P3 with a 108. Almost flat. So you see he's in on an outlap. Going in. Not really improving much. Still in P1 right now. NASCAR also an outlap. Jan coming back from his deficit from spinning out in turn 1. Will he be able to recover? Oh, big lockup on the inside. Spins those rears a little bit. Back on the battery, out into Sector 1. Flatlining into the first DRS zone with the Haas. Coming out onside of front of him too, as we'll see this Mercedes Forrestal on lap. Jan spinning out again, or just getting out of the way. Wow, very, very unfortunate too, as we see the Racing Bull. Coming out Jay. most likely coming into the pits, yes. As 2 William missing the braking zone, too. Forstall down 3/10 on his time. Looking for momentum. As Zizin improves on his time with a 1:07.18. So, Panda in the chat, if you see the time that Casper invalidated like 3 of his laps. I don't know what he was thinking. But Forstall looking very good. Finishing up into Sector 2. Down 5/10. If he does that, he's looking like he will get up to at least P3. Possibly P2, depending on how he does this final sector. As we'll do the TV pod on him. He crosses the line and gets into P2 with a 1:07.8. Lovely. Takes a little victory spin there to cool his tires down. Puts himself up into P2. As we see, again, Casper. Again, another invalidated lap. When will the horrors end for him? Poor guy. I promise it's all out of love. As we see Sanity down almost to 10th. This time sitting in P11 right now. Down 4/10 coming out of Sector 2. As he flatlines. Caution in Sector 2. Looking like getting out of the way from McLaren. So we'll onboard with Sanity. DRS opens up on the battery. Flatlining. Will he be able to move up at all? Yes, he does. Puts himself up into P9. Right now improving to a 1:08.6. As we'll see a McLaren. Jonk starting his lap. And Casper, yes, probably going another lap since he invalidated once again. Panda himself going on an out lap. As we have 6 minutes left. Buddha improves briefly to a 1:08. As you see Sub-Zero, I believe actually get a good lap on the board with a 1:09. Actually on the right tires too. Down 4/10. Makes sense, you know. I probably would lose 4/10 of time if I was on intermediates. Too. There's several people probably on cooldown laps, except Chonk. I think Chonk is on an out lap. Another out lap, a flying lap. He lost the rears there. That middle section as he exits out of Sector 2. Oh, no, never mind. Getting out of the way of the V-carb of Casper, who seems to be... He is not going to invalidate a lap unless somehow he does in this final sector, coming across the line as he sets the fastest time with the 1:07.105, out qualifying Zizin. The man who has invalidated all majority of his laps sits on provisional pole. Oh my word. Where Casper, dude, you're flaking on me, man. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Oh my goodness. The racing pole, and Panda's up there too into P3 with the 1:07.5. Two, as we see a Sauber, the Sauber of Sub-Zero, seems to be on a flying lap or maybe a cooldown lap too. But these racing bulls seem to be very quick. Sitting in P1 and P3 right now as we head into the last few minutes of qualifying. As we see Chonk going into the pits. Same for Casper. Panda will also head into the pits. As we see Sub-Zero coming around 2 most likely, and he indeed will head into the pits. So lots of changes going into qualifying here in Tier 2. We have lots of movement from the Racing Bulls, Panda and Casper. Casper with a surprise lap with how much time he has invalidated on his lap, as we see William Going on an outlap on fresh sauce. Why is this? I don't know what my camera angle's doing. Ah, it's because he's still in pit lane. The Aston Martins, though, William NASCAR. If I recall, seemed very decent in Monza last week. They also had a wild race in Monaco too, which I get to call a Toasty, who I just found out is very ginger. So, Toasty gingers are weird, so no wonder you're a ginger. Makes complete sense. I also too now have an image of just Ron Reesley with just the face of just French toast now as my image of Toasty, so hope you enjoy that. Toasty, all out of love. I promise it is. Even if you're a ginger. I promise. As we will follow William on his flying lap here. Subtracting time, too. Maybe he was on a flying lap then. On the battery, as we see several others, too, coming out of the pit lane. Through the racing goal, getting out of the way. William down 1/10. So won't be able to make any improvements as of right now if this stays the same. Going flat out, downshifting twice. Going down to the third gear too. Staying in the third gear around. He will go up into fifth gear as all the cars are getting out of the way. Very, very close there between the Mercedes and his teammate. But and the Williams there getting out of the way. Lots of traffic as people are going to finish their final laps. Comes out still down to 10th. He exits sector 2. Comes across. Battery and DRS open. Flatlining out. Will he be able to do something and pull some magic? Not necessarily, but he improves up into P6 with a 108.028. As several others on a flying lap to Kua are starting their flying lap. Kua sector 1 as qualifying, as we'll see if who can make it across the line. First with the Williams behind him, and another Aston going wide. 2. Only shifting down to 6th gear. Hitting the brakes hard into 2nd gear. Steering up around. He's up in the 5th gear. Downshifting down the 3rd gear. Here coming out to sector 2. On the battery. He's down 8 thousandths off of his time. Will he be able to make some other magic happen? He's flat on the battery. Plugging that inside. DRS pops open. Upshifts, getting low on battery. Will he be able to do something? No, he won't. He will stay. P5 as qualifying is done. Several people finishing their laps. I believe the McLaren of Zizen. Will he be able to take pole? Oh, he spins! Oh my goodness! Not able to do anything. Panda, the 2 V cars not being able to do anything as they cross the line. Forrestal improving a little bit on his time. Is he able to do anything? No, he won't. As we'll see the Haas. No, they won't be able to improve. It seems to be the Alpine is the only one that has not crossed the line. Buddha won't set a time. So with that being said, as Chonk retires, with that being said, seems to me that Casper, with his lap, after invalidating so many laps before him, will be on pole this evening. I believe. Let's see anybody else. But wow. What an interesting qualifying session we've had tonight. We've had, but here's your starting lineup with Casper P1 and Zizen P2, Panda P3, Forcel P4, NASCAR P5. That is your starting 5. As I will get some of this information. Still think it's funny Sub-Zero start on intermediates. Very interesting call. 2. But that is your qualifying session. Looking very good for the Racing Bulls. Starting P1 and P3. Wonder if some actual happen with Zizen for the McLaren. And the Constructor going into P2 as we get ready for the 5 lights. I don't know how many this... Let's see. Quickly taking a look at the standings for Tier 2. Monza's still waiting, but McLaren and the Racing Bulls are in a tight battle for the World Constructors title. So this is very, very big for the Racing Bulls. And Zizen 2 leading the Drivers' Championship in Tier 2. So, with the Racing Bulls up in the Ps 1 and 3 is very good for the World Constructors title. So, we shall see, though, as we wait for the racers to figure out this. As the 5 red lights come on, we are about to go racing here in Brazil. And away we go. Seems to be a good start overall by everybody. As we come into turn 1, several people. The McLaren of Zizen on the inside. Oh, little love tap there between the two. Coming back out into turn 1, everybody getting away very cleanly. As going out the outside is Casper. Somehow Santa's in P1. I don't know what is going on. Casper leading the drive, very close contact. Everybody, the other Racing Bull Panda going out wide. There's several people. Oh, contact 2 in the rear between the McLaren and the Alpine. Lots of close battles. Several people going wide here in the tail end as we see the possible strategies. As Sean facing with the penalty right out the gate. Here's your position changes. Caution. 3 wide. Going into the sector 2 in this opening lap. Sean has fallen down the order. Very much so. I don't know what happened with that penalty. Oh my, as the kick spun. Salbert, Sub-Zero, and Panda must have got some contact in the rear. Casper setting the fastest lap here. It is interesting to see the penalty. He has a drive-through. Oh my goodness. As you see, starting tires on the medium. Seems to me Chonk may have had a false start as he's got a drive-through penalty on that start. As we'll see the Haas of Jay looking on the outside. There's several contact between the teammates as we go racing in lap 2 here. Oh my goodness, one of the Haas's is out. Spin, Jay spun. Jay spun out of sector 2. Trying to get back into this race. We're trying to see other battles going on. As my boy Jan. There's a gap starting to form between the Mercedes of Kua and Jan. In the top 4 with his teammate Forstall, Zizen and Casper. Casper with a wonderful showing here. Validated all his laps in qualifying, but has had a strong performance in his leading race. Zizen looking onto the outside. Coming in close. Oh, big lock of contact. Zizen spins. Leaving way for the Mercedes as Sub-Zero 2 seems to have spun out in sector 3. as it looks like there might have been illegal overtaking. Casper had to give the positions back between the McLaren and the Mercedes. Very interesting battles out front. Taking a look in the backfield, the Alpine. Abuda looking a bit on the Aston Martin. Look a bit, he'll go on the inside. Oh, and that door gets closed very quickly by the Aston of William. We head into the middle sector and lap. Very eventful race so far. Oh my goodness. You see dirty racing. Who knows what is... Stewards may have something to look at after this race. Who knows? As we come down the main straight. Caution, a McLaren spun. Chonk seems to have spun as we get very close as an Aston Martin goes into pits. Chonk has DNF'd and has left the session. The Alpine, oh my goodness, looking very on the inside as the Aston Martin has to go wide. And that pulls up Jude. We better know. Jan and NASCAR up as we go down the back straight. Everybody looking at the two Williams. Looking at the inside. Nothing in there. Oh my goodness, contact NASCAR with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. As we see very, very close racing here in the midfield. As we get a bird's eye view of the shot of the Williams. Of Jude. Oh, a little love tap there between him and the Alpine of Buda. Oh my goodness, we have some wonderful, some very contact-heavy racing. Oh my goodness! As Jan spins! Spin, oh my goodness! Must have been some tire wear there. Holy cow! Lots of close action here in the midfield pack. Take a look up front. As Forstall has taken the lead. Ziesen looking on the inside, takes it from the inside, locks up and overtakes Forstall into turn one to take the lead of the race. As we'll take a look back here, Buda lock up, giving Jude two. As we'll see tight side-by-side racing between the Mercedes and Ziesen. Caution sector 1 and 3. Oh, Casper overtaking the Mercedes. Lots of overtaking going on as we'll see the Haas too. Oh, keeping it wide. Very much between him and Sanity and Jude. I believe that is. Lots of exciting racing going on all across the field. Didn't know I'd start. So we'll take a look more in the front. As we'll see Ziesen leading the race now. As a big gap has started to form between the leaders. As we come down the main straight, DRS opens up. You see Casper and Forstall looking. Casper, will he take a dive? No, he won't. Everybody will keep it clean in the front. The front group here. As we'll take a look out back to this midfield group too. Seems everybody's face now. Oh, caution in sector 1. Someone seems to have spun out. Jay DNFs. Middle of that, must have missed that. I apologize. So, we have the midfield. We'll take a look back out front. Keeping an eye on both battles. As Ziesen still holding the lead as we're only in lap 6 here. If it's going to be like this, we'll be in for a very, very eventful race here at Tier 2 in Brazil. As we come down to the main straight, Ziesen looking on the inside, trying to cover off. As we see caution in sector 2, it's like Jan may have just spun out. Again, everybody seems to have kept it clean in the front. Take a look to everybody in this second group. Everybody filing. I think. Oh, as we see Casper side by side, trying to look against Ziesen, nothing. Going for the switchback, side by side they are. as Casper will overtake. Oh, but Ziesen, oh my goodness, contact between the two. As they go wide, Ziesen has a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. And he spins too, losing his tire grip into Sector 2. As he now starts heading into this back front two. Pulling everybody off. William with the 3-second time penalty. Oh my goodness. Casper may have been his race to win. Now, a terrible, as we see Ziesen looking into the inside, overtaking Kua on the main straight. Will Kua fight back as they go everybody keeping it clean, keeping it nice and tidy here. And as we see Forrestal trying to separate the gap. As the Mercedes looking very comfortable right now. Up there, as you see the backfield there behind them. As we'll take a look. Oh, the Alpine of Buda, I believe, looking to the inside of NASCAR. But very costly mistake there by Casper. By him. There's a caution in Sector 1. Sub-Zero maybe going for his lawnmower. Going for little lawn care activities here in Sao Paulo. As we've had a very eventful early race here in Brazil. As there's a caution, and Jan retires from this race. DNFs out. As we see our first pit stops by Forrestal, he will head to both Mercedes are pitting, which will allow Ziesen to take the lead. As we see several other people heading into the pits for their first stop, as Jude will take P2. Attaboy. And Sanity will comfortably take P3. As, seems to be under virtual safety car. 2. Could be by Jan. Or maybe it is just trying to catch and see if there's a VSC sign anywhere. Yes, we do. As we go green. Here again, the field very spread out now between the top 4. Top 5, to say the least. As we'll see Casper here trying to recover from his race. As we'll take a look at the tire change, as several seem to go for the hards here in this VSC. There's a position change too. Across the board, and we'll take a look at the penalties too. Ziesen with a 10-second time penalty. NASCAR with a 3-second time penalty, and William too with a 3-second time penalty. But Casper looking very close to Kua. DRS opens. Will he make a move? Looking into the inside. Decides not to take it against the Mercedes. Aston, big lock up there on the inside. As we see no other overtakes. Possibly. Oh, never mind. As we see Casper overtaking Kua in the first DRS zone. Keeping it very clean and nice and tidy with the Mercedes. As we now have an 11-person grid here in Brazil. Lots of contact with so far in this race. As hi Mark, good to see you again, buddy. Mark, you've been missing out. Your racing bulls have been. Casper sold there for a second there in the beginning. You missed out. Anyway. Ziesen, Jude, Sanity, Forrestal still sitting very comfortably. Maybe Forrestal looking a little bit on the inside of Sanity. Keeping it very close. Will we see an overtake by Forrestal on this straight? By him. As Forcel going on the inside, overtakes Sanity, keeping it very clean. Sanity trying to defend the inside. As the Mercedes goes into P3. With Casper and Kua right behind. Seems to be having dual battles now for several positions. A battle for P3 between Forstall and Sanity. A battle for P5 with Casper and Kua. P7 battle between NASCAR and Buddha. And Panda and William for the battle for P9. As Jude starting to get, my boy, you need to start pushing a little bit, dude. Forstall and Sanity will take a pit in this lap. Sanity with the 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. As keeping a check on the main straight. Ooh, lock up there by the Racing Bulls of Casper. Same too with the Aston Martin. Jude trying to pull away as Forstall will be within DRS range as of right now as we get a beautiful bird's eye view of that wonderful Brazilian Williams livery. Oh, very, very fine. Very, very happy too of finally getting a Williams livery. So, but yes, Zizen has been cooking this entire race. Very, very close between Williams. Come on, Jude. Stay up in there. Forstall looking on the inside. Jude. As we'll try and take a look at the telemetry on the overtake battery. Same thing. The Mercedes has more battery than the Williams, as the Mercedes will go and make a smooth overtake going into turn 1. Going into the back straight. Goodness gracious. Come on, Jude. You just hold P3. Get us a Williams podium in Tier 2. That would be amazing. As he gets DRS into the first DRS zone. Won't be able to make a move there. As we'll see, Buddha looking a little bit too, but not close enough to make a move. As Zizen still sitting very comfortably, but with an 8-second lead, as he has been cooking all season, and ahead of the World Drivers' Championship too, here in Tier 2. As we'll keep in touch with all of these battles. Closest interval I can tell is between NASCAR and Buddha. 2. Maybe we'll see some action on this main straight. Keep an eye on the map as Zizen will take his first pit stop. So he'll go happily onto the hards, most likely. As we won't see an attack from the Alpine of Buddha. Still keeping it very close with the Aston Martin. He is very close though, 4/10. Aston Martin defending with his battery. The Alpine looking, getting very, very close. He has decided not to try. Oh, looking a bit on the inside there though. Jay has left the session. Still looking again on the inside too is that Alpine. As believed too, Casper looking on Jude. Casper indeed is with fresher tires. Jude still needs to pit on 13 lap old mediums. As you see, caution in sector 2. Looking like one of the Haas's has spun out. As Sanity, as we'll take a look at this battle, another caution in sector 2. As we'll try and look in, Casper on the inside will pass Jude onto the main straights very cleanly. Will Jude make a response? No, he won't. Will he try to make a retort back in this DRS zone? He's 8 seconds down. Caution again between Sanity and Sub-Zero in the rear. As the Alpine of Buddha and NASCAR. Oh, looking the Alpine going side by side with him too. As they head out of the main straight, keeping it clean and tight to the Aston Martin. Over still holding position. Buddha trying to look on the inside. As the Aston Martin defending very, very well, keeping it very close. You see Canada there in the background too, trying to insert himself in this duel for P5. But we shall see between these two as we head out back onto the back straight. NASCAR implementing his battery. They're trying to save it too. DRS opens for the Alpine of Buddha as Jude takes his first pit stop. Big lock up there by the Aston Martin. The Alpine of Buddha, fastest lap set by Zizan. Zizan has been rapid all season long and is still rapid here today in Brazil. As NASCAR still leaving, still defending very, very well between Buddha to Zizan, sitting P8 right now though too, but looking very, very good. Sub-Zero with the 10-second time penalty for speeding into the pit lane. Dude, is that Alpine looking very, very close, trying to look for an opportunity. NASCAR trying to defend. Buddha looked again on the inside. Will we see an overtake here on this main straight? Seems to be NASCAR has been saving his battery, but so has Buddha. As the DRS opens, will we see the overtake? He's looking. They're keeping it clean, trying to get to the slipstream. As NASCAR locks up, Buddha will not take the opportunity, saving his battery. Buddha with the 3-second time penalty now too. Very, very interesting with that. Looking on the inside of NASCAR. But very interesting on the 3-second time penalty. The stewards may have a good look at that too. Looking on the inside, going on the switchback in the turn. Side by side between the Alpine trying to wedge himself in there. Contact! The Kiel still keeping on track. The Aston Martin. Panda inserting himself in here too now. Saying, let me get involved. As the Alpine goes wide, Panda on the outside. As Zizan and Williams seem to be getting into it too. Just behind. As we'll keep a close eye on this too. May see some, maybe we'll see an overtake here by Zizan and William. The Alpine looking. Panda 2 also looking, but everybody keeping it clearly locked up by NASCAR. As we'll see, Zizan will overtake. Panda trying to look for a move as we'll get a IV from him. The Alpine of Buddha still behind. NASCAR defending brilliantly. DRS by the Alpine still looking. Panda keeping it very, very clean too as the Alpine spins just a little bit. Looks maybe some tire wear there going on. As you see these three duking it out, having very good battle. NASCAR with some brilliant defensive plays. As they say, defense wins championships. So this is very lovely, lovely racing here we see between NASCAR, Buddha, and Panda. Lovely, lovely racing, gentlemen. Between. So, Mark, that's a very interesting take too. So, on that, as the Alpine of Buddha looking very, very close, trying to catch the slipstream, goes to the outside of NASCAR, and goes for the overtake too. Very cleanly, NASCAR. Oh, side-by-side lockups by the two of them. As Panda is still trying to insert, waiting for an opportunity to strike. We'll go to the TV pod of Panda as he's on the battery. DRS opens. The Alpine of Buddha defending on the inside. NASCAR overtaking the Alpine once again. Lovely racing. Panda going on the inside battery. Oh, and Panda spins a little bit. loses traction, goes wide. Doesn't necessarily go wide, but decides to go for a little lawn mowing, and Panda will have to make up that momentum once again. Oh my goodness, Panda was right there, trying to make something happen as everybody seems to be on the hards. Here's a review of the penalties too. Sub-Zero and Sanity both have penalties for speeding in the pit lane. NASCAR and Buddha both have 3-second time penalties though. For track limits, same with Williams too, but if NASCAR, who is trying to maintain this 3-second gap, if he can, he will stay P4 at the end of this race, as these two, between the Alpine and the Aston, have been wonderful, wonderful racing we've seen between these two. Very, very clean, as we get a wonderful shot view, almost bird's eye view of the two out of that first DRS zone. As it looks to me, Casper catching up to, I believe that is Forstall. Yes, Forstall. Yes, I'll do that for a lap. Maybe we'll see. Oh my goodness, I don't know what was ghosting there between Kua and the Haas of Sanity. But will we see an overtake? DRS opens for Forstall. He is very far behind. Casper still waiting for the opportunity. NASCAR still brilliantly defending against the Alpine, as he'll get DRS from Sanity, who's ahead of him to defend against Buddha, as he'll get out of the way for Buddha with a little ghosting there. As NASCAR on the battery no longer gets DRS, excuse me. ZZ's in the background in P6, trying to make up some time. This looks to me the closest gap is between Forstall and Casper. Casper, who started... Oh, excuse me. Started on pole position. Tires. We'll take a look at the tires, Doctor. There's your tire laps. Everybody on hards for now. As we'll take a look. Pay attention on this. We'll go to the TV pod here of Casper. Looking on the battery at 200 miles per hour. Goes on the inside of Forstall, locks up. Keeping it very close and tidy between the Mercedes and the Racing Bull. As he's on battery again, DRS opens. Forstall defending the inside. There's no move will be made between the two. Taking a look back on the Aston Martin of NASCAR and Buddha. With Buddha looking. Battery, will he try and overtake? No, he will not. Ooh, tires though of NASCAR. Those rears seem to be screaming, but it does seem to be for everybody too. The Alpine of Buddha, he looks on the inside. NASCAR going a little wide. Losing his rears. Very, very close. As Zizin is now joining the fight too. As we'll take a pause to go see what's going on between Casper and Forstall. Casper with lots of battery goes to the inside. Oh, he will not. He'll go into the pits as he somehow takes P1. But Forstall will for a slight brief second. But we'll head back down as we'll see NASCAR taking the pits. Buddha also too battling with Zizin. Zizin overtaking Buddha to take P2. As we'll see several people going on the hard, so it seems to be some people have went for the harder tire allocation, as there's only one pair of mediums, but we are in the latter half of the race. Everybody seems to be staying on the hard. Zizin has had a wonderful race. There was a mix-up between him and Casper, though, with lots of contact. Ziesen got the benefit. Briefly. Because of the contact. My boy Jude sitting in P5. Good points for Williams. Yay, go Williams, yay. Good job, Jude. I told you I'd give you at least a little bit of glaze. So, but since we're on the tail end of Panda, NASCAR behind him. Everybody will be scoring points today. As Forrestal will head to the pits, as well as Buda. So Forrestal will get new tires as Ziesen will retake the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix here in Tier 2. As William will get a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. To Ziesen taking a comfortable lead. Casper in the background there. As Forrestal will come out in P3. To Jude, my Williams. We're doing very well. As we'll take Panda defending against Kua. Very, very low battery. As the Mercedes and NASCAR all looking very tight, keeping it nice and tidy between everybody. As this seems to be the closest battle going on right now. I believe, yes, Jude. Jude, please. This will be a wonderful top 5 finish by Williams, so go Williams. Yes, please. Keep it up, Jude. You're doing great, buddy. I thought I'd give you at least a little bit of glaze. Anyway, as we'll real focus back on into this battle here between Panda, Kua, and NASCAR, the Racing Bull, the Mercedes, and the Aston Martin. As Panda will, who has been saving battery, will slam down hard. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Slam down hard on it. Maybe won't see an overtake of Panda with the Mercedes and the Aston, but keeping it very close. Will we see an overtake though? Maybe by the Aston Martin. Panda defending the inside. As the Mercedes is really not enough room between the three to be able to do that. Panda defending brilliantly. 2, as this seems to be the tightest battle going on as we are in lap 25 out of 36 laps here in Brazil. So keep an eye on this duel as Buda, interesting, goes on the medium tires here too. And he'll have the fastest tire, but he needs to make the positions fast as those mediums roll. We're very quick as we have 11 laps to go. And Ziesen takes his second pit. Will probably, my guess will be go on the mediums. No, he goes and moves to the hards. Interesting. As I believe that will be everybody else has to pit. But, very, very close there by the Mercedes of Kua. NASCAR right behind them too. We're going to the TV pods of them both. Kua looking very close. Everybody keeping it very, very clean though. As we will go to the penalties. William has a 13-second time penalty. He will keep P9 based off those intervals too. But biggest thing is NASCAR and Buda right now have 3-second time penalties. So Ziesen right now is guaranteed P6 with these penalties, I believe. Probably. I think, if my math is correct. I could be wrong. But we'll look at the position change too. We'll keep tires on for now. As Panda, who has been defending brilliantly. Kua 2. The Aston Martin looking very close too. As we'll see Ziesen and Buda going side by side. Ziesen with a clean overtake. Locks up going into turn 1. The Alpine right behind him exiting turn 2. Out into turn 3. Into the first DRS zone. With Buda right behind him. Gating ever so close. Looking into the inside. What will we see here? Keeping it very, very close. As the Alpine, maybe a little bit of contact too between as the Alpine defending between Ziesen As we head out to very, very close, Buddha. Zizen battling it out here in the latter half of this race. Zizen does know they have penalties. So, will he decide to fight it or just maybe wait till the overtake? And he's keeping an eye on the battle up ahead of them for P5. As we'll go back, Zizen looking into the outside of Buddha. Oh, makes the overtake. Going into turn 1. Buddha still right behind him. Going into turn 3. He has very little battery, though. As the DRS opens, Zizen pulling away. Buddha looking into the inside. Excuse me, once again. Still keeping it very clean as Casper, 2 in the Mercedes of Forstall. 2 seem to be very close in action too. Might have a little brawl up here in the front of the grid. Casper brilliantly using his battery to defend behind the Mercedes, but the Mercedes does have DRS. Not activating the battery, maybe biding his time to make his strike. Looking into the inside. Will not make the move. He does have an opportunity. Ooh. As he slips on the battery into the first DRS zone. Casper. DRS defending the outside as they go side by side in Forstall with the clean overtake. Oh, they're keeping it very close. Move. Maybe a little love tap between Casper and his front wing with the Mercedes. The Forstall. He goes to the outside. Looking. We headed to sector 2 between the two. Keeping it very tidy as Jude. Come on, buddy. Podium. Keep defending. As the big brawl between Kua, Panda, NASCAR, and Zizen coming to join the fight, as well as Buddha. All here in the back, all behind the podium sitters. Or at least with Jude. Casper looking to try and re-overtake here on the main straight. Casper on the outside as we go side by side. They're heading into turn 1. Casper overtaking the Mercedes. 2 keeping an eye on the rear. And the battle behind them, too. Looks to be keeping it clean, too. Out in front, Panda. As Forstall and Casper side by side. Forstall retakes the lead once again. Keeping an eye as we go 2 wide. And Panda overtaking Williams. The Williams of June, who newly just transferred today as a Tier 2 reserve driver. And Forstall with the 3-second time penalty. After multiple warnings, Casper can win this race for Racing Bull. Oh my goodness, he can. If Casper does not decide to fight, he can win this race with this 3-second time penalty. Oh my goodness. Casper just needs to keep a clean race, and he will win the Brazilian Grand Prix as of right now. And this will be a phenomenal finish for the Racing Bulls in terms of the constructors. So I don't know if he's even going to think about trying to overtake the Mercedes. But that is huge detriment to the Mercedes. As it looks like, too, they're duking it out. Casper, I don't know why he's trying to... Oh, my goodness. This is huge. Casper trying to just keep it clean, I think, looking for the easy opportunity for an overtake. As we'll keep an eye. Oh, Zizen. Jude getting a 3-second time penalty. Contact between the McLaren and the Aston Martin of NASCAR. As the two go side by side. Here in the first DRS of Zizen having the inside line, overtaking the Aston Martin. Oh my goodness, lots of last second action here in the latter half of the race. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This race right now, it is Casper's race to lose. If he can keep it very clean these final few laps, he will win the Brazilian Grand Prix. As we're keeping as his teammates, Panda trying to defend off everybody else. Jude, come on, buddy. Come on. You can get a P6. I'll take a P6, but come on, buddy. We need something for Williams. Come on, Jude. You're doing great, buddy. You're doing great. Defend, defend, defend. Hold him. I try to give as much lays as possible as Zizan on the outside of the newly signed Jude cleanly between the two. As Kua looking like he may have an opportunity as he's out of battery. Probably will not overtake, as we'll look back here. Zizan going through ghosting between Sanity, the Haas. Same thing with Jude, too. Keeping an eye on this battle out front to see if any action is going to happen up here. To Casper, very, very close with Forrestal. Forrestal just needs to get away. I don't know if he has the time to do it. As keeping an eye on this backfield battle, too. As Casper, battery and all, DRS flap is open for him. As he goes to the inside, Forrestal probably not looking side by side. Going into turn one, Casper makes the overtake. Oh my goodness, excuse me. Clean overtake will Forrestal. I don't know if he will fight Zizan with the new fastest time. As the Mercedes on the inside, side by side with the Racing Bull of Casper. Oh my goodness, Casper spins! He spins! It looked to be their concept, but oh my goodness, this is big! Oh my goodness! Casper spins! Casper spins! Oh my goodness, Forrestal! This Forrestal can win this race instead. Oh, that is such a huge loss for the Racing Bull of Casper, who was on pole position. Forrestal now with a 10-second gap. He will maintain P1. Oh my gosh. Zizan fighting it too for the constructors with Kua looking on the inside. Keeping it nice and tidy. Leaving the room. Leaving the space as Zizan overtakes for P4. Oh my goodness. What just happened? Oh my gosh. Casper spins out of the DRS zone. Oh my gosh. Forrestal has a comfortable lead now. Detrimental mistake by Casper as he lets his teammate by. Panda trying to defend off. Zizan locking up. Zizan, ooh, little contact there too. Between the McLaren and the Racing Bull, Zizan trying his best to keep it clean, nice and tidy. Zizan leaving the battery with the DRS, maybe biding his time to strike here. For these last few podium positions, Zizan, ooh, keeping it very, very close with Casper, who was just fighting for the win and had this race in the grasp on the hand. Had the race in his grasp. Sold in the final few laps as Zizan trying to make up. Oh, very, very, very close. Looking as the Mercedes two behind him. Oh, little love, maybe a little love tap side by side between the McLaren and the Racing Bull as Zizan will overtake Casper for that podium position to try and keep McLaren in this title constructor fight, I believe. Still, we don't know the points for Monza yet. That hasn't been done yet. That still needs to be done. Unless there's a certain individual that needs to be shamed for that. But Casper now just waving people by. This has been a very roller coaster of a night for Casper. If he didn't catch qualifying, he invalidated majority of his laps. He took pole position with, I think, there's only one valid lap, and then has had two crashes. One was Zizan in the beginning of this race, and just sold, literally sold, and had contact between Forrestal and Casper, between those two. And if he had stayed, oh my gosh, holy cow, as he's just waving everybody by between him. I don't know if he's just got damage or if he's just ceding each position, but Panda trying to defend against Zizan these final few, as Forrestal will start his final lap here of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Mercedes seem to be This is something. Panda defending the inside. Zizen going on the inside. Side by side between the two. Panda overtake. Oh, little love tap between the two. Zizen trying to look for the switchback. Not able to maintain it. As we go to the TV pod. Zizen Casper with another 3-second time penalty. Poor guy. As Zizen Panda almost side by side. Two heading out of the DRS zone. Zizen with the 3-second time penalty. He went wide. Panda. Oh my gosh. I don't know what that was. Stewards may have a look at that. Zizen overtaking Panda once again. William with the 3-second time penalty. These two going side by side. Zizen overtaking for P2. Panda still trying to fight. But Zizen will not, as we'll see Forrestal. As there's a caution in Sector 2. Green seems to be that Forrestal will win the Brazilian Grand Prix. As the lovely Battle Sub-Zero with a 10-second time penalty for an unserved penalty. As Zizen will finish this race in P3, P4 now, but with Panda and Kua wrapping up the race, as we'll see Jude, my boy, in the top 5. Let's go, top 5 for Williams. We'll take that. As Casper will finish P7, William coming around 2 with another 10-second time penalty. As we wait to see the other drivers finish. Buddha, wonderful, wonderful battles on the Alpine. Just keep his head up high, but double podium finish for the Mercedes. Sanity with a 10-second unserved time penalty. As the Alpine, very interesting diving technique there, but oh my goodness. If that wasn't entertaining for any of you, you don't like Formula One. That was a wild race. Holy cow. As we see the podium celebrations, Mercedes with the double podium, with Panda up there in P2. But wonderful celebrations. Congratulations to the Mercedes team for a double podium finish. Oh my goodness. I'm still flabbergasted. I'm just holy cow. Stewards, you might just start looking at some of this stuff. Oh my word, this is insane. That was insane. Holy cow. But here's your final results as of right now. Forrestal P1, Panda P2, Kua P3, Zizen P4, and my boy Jude, who just got signed today, P5. That's your top 5. Here's your finish in terms of the drivers. Here are the incidents too. To review in the video too, for data and pit stops too. Whoever will edit the Twitch stream and everything too. I don't know if I'll be able to, maybe I'll be able to get that probably after the stream. But anyway, folks, if you thought that was entertaining, just you wait. Tomorrow night, Tier 1 racing. We'll race the best of the best in IRL, folks. But what a race we've had here today. I have been your commentator, WuShicy420. And we will see you tomorrow night for Tier 1 racing as we wrap up here in Brazil tomorrow night. And enjoy your wonderful evening, folks.